there's something that I realized in my early 30s, very, very early 30s. And it changed a lot for me with regard to my interactions with women, because the way society would have us be is there's an attempt to turn men into beggars, right? Like you talked about earlier, you got to show up with the flowers and the candy and all that. That's all beggar behavior, as far as I'm concerned. So I said to myself, why is this evaluation thing a one-way street? Like I'm fully on board with the mating dance because it exists in every mammal, even fish, even like almost every species has some kind of process by which they select a mate. And virtually all species on Earth couple up very temporarily, but that's neither here nor there. There is always a process by which they evaluate one another, and very often the focus is on what the male has to do to pass his tests. Because in nature, there's the display of strength, beauty, or capability, or sometimes all three. Like in the case of a lion, a male lion's mane has no function except beauty. It is there to be attractive to female lions. But that's not all he has to be. He also has to be physically capable. So he has to have strength and he has to have capability as in combat. So a male lion has to display all three of those traits. You know, a peacock, hey, shake your tail feather. You know, it's just about the beauty. And that's fine. But here's the thing. In that conversation, I never heard people talk about, well, what is the criteria that the male have for the women? And this is part of what developed out of my celibacy is I finally wrote down a list of what I was looking for in women because I had zero standards before that. Anyone could get into the gates. As long as you showed up and say, hey, you look good, you were in, right?
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge that. I don't regret it. That's how I was in my 20s, and it was fine that I was like that.
Yeah.
But now, and for the last 25 or so years, I realized, well, you got to prove yourself to me. It's not just me who's going to prove himself to the woman. And again, I am not against that. I'm totally embracing that. But now it's like, oh yeah, while I'm doing my thing, guess what? I'm checking you out. I'm evaluating you. And guess what, ladies? Not all of you get to pass. Some of you are very unhappy about that because you've always gotten to pass. Every dude was just content. Well, yeah, maybe a dude that doesn't have a lot of sex and is afraid that you might be the last one or whatever, or some beta male or some shit like that. But, you know, if you don't meet my standards, you're not in. Sorry. Well, I missed what you said.
You said you might be the last one.
Well, you know, some dudes think like that, right?
I know.
You know, some guys are so afraid of being alone because they just don't have the confidence that they're ever going to find a woman again. So they stay in miserable fucking situations.
And take whatever they can get. Yeah.
It's sad.